I'm joined by Kyle Balgames. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzhov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian to Mars.
Zach Allen. I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Relax.
All right, welcome to RW Hobbies in Livonia, Michigan, where we are making magic happen. I am Zach Allen, joined by my teammate,
Raja Suleiman.
And today we're going to be playing some more Modern for you guys. I've got blue-white, I guess it was Stoneblade, we're calling it Sharkblade here.
Oh.
Bant Stoneblade was a pretty popular deck before the Astrolabe banning, and this is taking place about a week after Astrolabe was banned. And you know, it was really popular because you had some really good value bodies to put equipment on in Icefang, Kotal, and Uro. But a lot of that was enabled by the fact that you had Astrolabe to just kind of make all of your colors free. It made Icefang, Kotal a lot better. And now without Astrolabe, it's kind of hard to, you know, just free roll that third color. It's hard to keep Kotal turned on. I still think you could play Bant, but online people have started to go towards just straight blue-white to make the mana a little easier. And they were looking for a good replacement to Kotal, which is, you know, a flying body that draws a card, and we found one from the new set in the card Shark Typhoon. So Shark Typhoon is a 6-mana enchantment that you know, if you just cast it and it's in play, then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you make an XX blue shark token with flying, where X is the spell's converted mana cost, and that's a powerful effect in a late game, but it's not really what you're using it for. What we're using it for is the mode where it has cycling X and then 1 and a blue. And it says when you cycle Shark Typhoon, you create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. And this card's kind of dominating standard right now because that's a ramp-heavy format. There's a lot of, you know, people are playing really land-heavy 29, 30 land decks. A lot of acceleration and growth spell and Uro, so they're ramping into this card. In Modern, especially in a blue-white deck, you don't really have ramp. So it's still a powerful card in that it's a flying body that cantrips. But a lot of the times you're going to be casting it for X equals 1, X equals 2, kind of making these smaller bodies. And so the question is, you know, that's still powerful in Modern. Just, you know, a 2-for-1 on a flying body is good, but how can we make that a little better in a way that makes sense in the format? And the answer people are coming to is to play Stoneforge Mystic. So you get a flying body, you can put a Sword of Feast and Famine on it and start doubling your mana, which is really powerful. Start making them discard cards, attacking resources.
Yeah, and you can actually, like, with this trigger on the stack, float a bunch of mana, untap, and then actually just cycle for a Typhoon for a huge amount, right?
Yeah, so Sword of Feast and Famine plays really well with this. We also have Batter Skull, which you know, is a little worse with Shark Typhoon. It's really expensive to put it on it, but it's definitely something you can do. You know, if you have 7 mana, or you know, 6 mana with the 7th land in hand, you can cycle Shark Typhoon for 4. You get a 4/4, untap, use Stoneforge Mystic to put Batter Skull in play, equip it. Now you have a 9/9 flying lifelink vigilance, which is huge, and it's going to be bigger than essentially everything in the format. And then past the Stoneforge Mystic Shark Typhoon core, we're trying to make Mystic Sanctuary work, because this was one of the best cards in the format pre-Astrolabe's banning. Now that Astrolabe's banned, you really got to be more dedicated to islands, so we're going to see if just blue-white lets us really utilize this card. And then, of course, you know, we have the other value body in Snapcaster Mage, which is more Mystic Sanctuary-like effects. You get to keep casting your instants and sorceries out of your graveyard. And, you know, we got the good blue and white Planeswalkers into Fairy Time Raveler and Jason the Mind Sculptor. And then the rest of the deck is just the classic blue-white, you know, spells you see a lot of in Modern. We got Cryptic Command, Force of Negation, Path to Exile, Mana Leak, Archmage's Charm. Just all the typical blue-white spells you'd expect. And what did you bring for us today, Raja?
I brought red-green Ponza? Is that what they call it?
I think it's Ponza, although it's more just a beats deck.
That's what it feels like lately, for sure. I mean, we've definitely trimmed on the Ponza effects. So, yeah, you got your core of your mana accelerators here in Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl. You got your early interaction kind of removal spell thing with Bone Crusher Giant and Lightning Bolt. And then from there, the deck gets named Ponza for its ability to interact with lands. Max of the Moon shuts down non-basics. Pillage gets the rest. Pretty strong on turn 2. It's the idea. You play the 1-drop first and you get these things going next. From there, we just kind of have a slew of threats and cards that have, you know, weird little effects that can help outside of being threats, like Clovis exiling graveyards, Chandra being a removal spell, Bloodbraid hitting anything you want, and then Glorybringer also being another removal spell. This deck's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's too many cute things going on with it. It just does what it does and tries to do it as well as it can.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just trying to mana screw the opponent in some way and then kill you with a good mid-range threat.
Yeah, kill them before they can get out of their screw.
Yep, and you know, one of the big issues with red-green historically, especially decks like this, is that you don't get good card selection right. You don't have a lot of good value engines.
Right.
But in this case, Seasoned Pyromancer does a lot of work. It's selection, it's value. Once it dies, you can even flash it back for more value if you got a lot of mana happening, you're flooding a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can even turn, redundant copies of Utopia Spell and Arbor Elf into 1/1 tokens early on.
Yep.
Or later on in the game. And then, yeah, like you said, draw cards here. Chandra can draw you some cards too. So,
especially like if you have a Magus in play, they're already mana screwed. You know, another Grey Ogre after that point is not going to help you all that much. But you can, pitch it to Seasoned Pyromancer. Now it's a 1/1 that drew a card, which is, a better effect than the second Magus generally.
yeah. Even Clothis is legendary, so if you have multiple copies and your opponent can't deal with the first one,
yep,
pitch it away.
And I think that's a really big aspect of this deck, because I don't think it'd be super playable without that, Just the card selection in red-green is just really premium, and Seasoned Pyromancer is a really powerful effect for that reason.
Absolutely.
All right, let's shuffle up in battle, see what this goes like.
Do it.
Initial impressions on the matchup, Raja. What deck do you think is favored here?
Oh, man. I think that if I can get going a little early, kind of keep you stumbling,
Yep.
having trouble casting your spells, I think I'll win the game. But if
Okay.
you get to the point where you have a Planeswalker in play and I don't have an immediate way to deal with it, I think you're just going to lock up the game. That's
Sure.
kind of how I picture the matchup. I don't have too many. All the things I do are pretty straightforward. So if you have the Path Exile for the Glorybringer and you have the Force Negation for the Lightning Ball on your Jace, then probably just going to lock up the game.
Sure. I would say I'm pretty scared of the matchup. You got Pillages to kill my equipment. Magus isn't great against me, but it can still make it awkward for me to cast Cryptic Command.
It can, and it
Archmage's
hits your
Charm.
Sanctuaries, right?
Yep.
But other than that, your two-color decks, you can probably fetch away from getting the color screwed at least.
Yeah. I can generally fetch to make my colors work, but it's still, the triple blue spells are still going to be tough if you have a Magus in play. Turns off Sanctuary. And then the threats are really strong. It's hard for my deck to deal with the Chandra once it's in play, so if I don't counter it on its way down, I'm going to struggle with it. And then Bloodbraid Elf has just always been good against blue decks.
Right.
So
bad against the fairy, but still good against
Yep.
everything else, basically.
Yep, so we'll see how this goes.
I will say getting my Glorybringer Path Exile will be very embarrassing.
That's
Just the
probably
5
great.
mana for the 1 mana spell. Kind of wish there was Stone Breaths for this matchup, but...
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, let's see what we got here. So while Zach's still shuffling up, I'll talk about this hand a little bit. I think this hand's a mulligan. You really want to have your turn 1 accelerators in hands like this. I'll just show it to you. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. We have a turn 1 accelerator. We have a redundant copy of the Clothis. Yeah, it doesn't feel good enough. It feels fine, but not good. And in Modern, you want to have good.
Yeah, you definitely want some of the early plays, and you just don't have that.
Right.
Alright, my 7's kind of awkward. I got 2 of this card, which I don't really want right now, but, it's always still fine. I do have this going for me. In the dark, this would be really good, although I don't think it's particularly good in this matchup. But this card's really strong in the matchup, so I think I'm going to keep this hand and hope I draw some lands.
Oh, you said you need lands? Alright, pillage one time.
Yeah.
Well, you got the pillage, but no lands, so...
Good, keep shipping. That's what I like to see.
Alright. Alright, I will keep this hand. And I think it's pretty obvious why I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 on bottom. And let's go from there. You ready?
Yep, start it out.
I will play Force and Arbor Elf. Good.
Alright. I'm going to play a Flood Strain and pass to you.
I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 life.
Okay.
Make a red, untap. And I'll play a Seasoned Pyromancer.
Alright, that resolves.
Trigger, discard a bolt and a land, redraw 2, and I get a 1/1 token.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I think in Modern it's pretty typical to see someone end a turn fetch here. Against a deck playing Pillage, I'd actually rather just not fetch and not give him a good target for his spells, so I'm going to go ahead and just stay unfetched and then draw for the turn. We did draw something I want to play, so the whole stay unfetched plan not working out here. So what I'm going to do is fetch now. I'm going to go down to 19. I think I'm going to go ahead and get an island. There's an argument to get planes here. You know what? Because you were playing Mages of the Moon, I think getting planes is going to be better. I have more islands in my deck, so I'm more likely to draw one.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
And also, the card I'm playing really wants me to have white next turn as well, so it makes sense to do that. I'm also going to go ahead and shock a Hallowed Fountain, so that's going to put me at 17. And before I really shuffle, I'm going to play a Stoneforge Mystic, and then I'm going to get a Batter Skull and pass to you.
Okay. Alright.
And also, just having a Plains means if you do have a Magus, I can path to exile it. Whereas if I had blue, I wouldn't really have a great answer to it, you know?
Yep.
Bet you wish you had that Lightning Bolt back.
Amongst other things, yeah. I guess I'll attack for 2.
I'm not going to chump block, so I'll take it.
Alright.
It's made a 15.
I'm going to go ahead and play Mountain and pass to you.
Alright. I'm going to draw for turn. That's a pretty good draw. It's not perfect, but it's decent. I'm going to put a Field of Ruin in play and just pass.
Alright. Combat?
Yep.
Attack for 2.
I am not going to block.
Okay, take 2.
Yep. I could put in the Batter Skull here and eat his Seasoned Pyromancer, but I think that's like a I'm going to bait you with Pillage situation. So I think I'd rather wait and then, you know, I can just pass and then put it in end of turn because Pillage is a sorcery. And then from there on out, if he ever goes to kill the Batter Skull, I can just pick it up.
Makes sense to me.
So I think never really exposing it to the card is a better play.
Well, that's exactly what I was doing. Maybe. See the Pyromancer?
Yeah, results.
Alright, there's the Pillage.
Has the Pillage, so I think it was,
Did not work out. Just
Yep.
trying to make it happen. I almost destroyed your land last turn, because I didn't think this was going to work, but I figured there's a chance that if you did fall for it like you talked about,
Yep.
it'd be better for me.
sure,
But that might have just been wrong. I might have been right to just attack your mana while I could.
fair,
I drew the Seasoned Pyromancer. If I had known I was going to draw that, I definitely would have done it, but
sure.
oh well. Good.
Alright, so I am going to put this in play now. We're going to get a Batter Skull going.
Okay.
You know, my life total is still 13, but getting lower, and this just kind of locks all that up. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Batter Skull in play and then draw for turn. Alright. I just got 2 cards in hand. I'm really scared of Glorybringer with how my hand's set up at the moment. And I would like him to have to attack into the Batter Skull if possible. Additionally, I would really like to hit my land drop. So instead of passing with Mana Huff and doing any of the instant speed stuff I have available, I'm just going to go ahead and cast it to Fairy Time Raveler.
Okay.
And bouncing a Seasoned Pyromancer doesn't seem that great. I could also bounce a token, which would be okay, but not great either. And instead, I want to protect from the Glorybringer, and I'm going to bounce the Arbor Elf.
Okay.
And draw a card. Alright, and then I'll pass to you.
So now I'm feeling really dumb for not pillaging the land while I could, as we can see Zach's struggling with his mana.
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cast a Chandra.
Alright, that would, if it resolved, would definitely kill my Batter Skull. My Teferi would die. I'd be in a lot of trouble. I think this is a pretty easy force negation here. And I'm going to go ahead and pitch a Spell Snare, because I don't think it has very many targets in this entire matchup.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't have an attack here, unfortunately. I mean, I could try to suicide.
You could definitely get,
attackers.
yeah, you could get Teferi off the table if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just don't think it's worth throwing away 2 creatures.
Yeah, you're giving up half your board.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and pass.
And I'm also gaining life if you do that.
Right.
Alright. Draw. Whew. Really like to hit a land. Not doing that. It's fine though. I'm going to go ahead and plus my Teferi. You know, I can attack here. It's not a bad attack. He has to give up 2 Pyromancers to trade. It's also a risky block, so if I have a Path to Exile, it blows him out pretty bad. Additionally, you could block with, you know, just 1 Pyromancer and 2 tokens. I think the most likely play of those, if I attack with everything, he's going to block with all 6, just because it guarantees kills my Germ through a path. Or he blocks with none and just takes 4. And I think if those are his 2 options, it's more likely that he's just going to take 4 here than block with all. And if he does block with all, I think I'm okay with the trade. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with my Battered Skull.
Yep, no blocks.
Okay, and then I'll put me back to 17, and then I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn to you.
Alright. Yeah, I think we just have to keep trying to see if we can resolve this card.
Well, lucky me, I drew a Mana Leak for the turn.
Oh, did you now? It's unfortunate. Yeah, basically the way I described in our pregame, this is how I pictured the game slowly just slipping away. Not really sure how I can get past this Batter Skull lock, but
yeah, the Batter Skull is gonna be tough here now.
Yep. So I go to 13. I'm gonna go and put an Arbor Elf that he knows about. And pass.
Alright. Draw for turn. Oh, we finally done it. We drew an island, which is great here. So I'm going to go ahead and just plus my Teferi. I still think his blocks here are pretty bad, and if he wants to make a big block here, I still think I'm okay trading this, because I can just get the Batter Skull back or equip it on something else. So I'm going to attack for 4 again.
Okay. I'll go to 9.
Yep, and I think at some point here, he's going to start considering chumping with 1/1s. I don't think we're there yet, but it would be good for me to get him to that point. So we're going to keep working on it, and I'm just going to pass now that I've got mana enough that I can do some stuff.
Yeah, so I have a Blood Red Elf, but as we acknowledged, Teferi is quite good against that in the land. I don't think this game is going to get any better for me as the turns go on, so I think I'm just going to pack this one in. I know what I'm beat, so.
All right, fair enough. Come on! I had the Typhoon!
Oh no!
I was going to draw Path to Exile. I was going to get to Typhoon and then equip a Sword of Feast and Famine and start going to town.
I would have had a hand anyway, so. Yeah, the Mult 5 was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's a tough spot for a Mult.
Yeah.
Especially in a tradey matchup. I think that's a deck that, despite not having a ton of card advantage, is actually pretty good on a Mult, just because Blood Moon on 3 cards can beat people a lot of times, you know?
Yeah, my 7 actually, when I had to go to Mult 5, was 2 lands, Arbor Elf, Season Pyromancer, 3 bolts.
Okay.
And I bottomed 2 bolts, and then had to discard the bolt, and then you had a Stone Poison Mystic, and I was just like, ah.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, I felt like it.
You just have chokes and not boils. That's great. That's wonderful. All right. So, post board here, I'm going to cut some of the blue intensive spells. This is a Pillage Blood Moon deck, so triple blue can be tough to get to. I still left Cryptic in, because I think having 1 access to the card, or 1 copy of the card in a Mystic Sanctuary deck is valuable, but I don't want to be stuck with like 2 or 3 Cryptics in my hand. They're just going to be really hard to cast multiples of. And Archmage's Charm is definitely, you know, if it wasn't triple blue, I'd be pretty hyped about it, or if I knew I had 3 islands, I'd be hyped about it, but just that uncertainty makes me just not want it in the matchup. And then I don't think Spell Snare has targets against you.
Barely.
And I'm cutting a Snapcaster Mage because I'm cutting down some of the good snap value targets. I still have Mystic Sanctuary and 2 other Snapcaster Mages, so it's not like I'm losing that effect. But I'm just going to cut down on 1, just be a little less graveyard intensive, because I know he has Scavenging Ooze and Clothis. And then I'm going to cut one Jace because I think this Teferi is better against a Bloodbraid Elf Bolt deck. And then I'm bringing in Purge and Aether Gust. They both just hit almost every card in his deck. A Verdict to kind of deal with the Pyromancer and Arbor Elves a little better. And then Teferi to protect against, Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon. Good to bounce, an Arbor or Utopia Sprawl, an Arbor Elf. Just a generically good card. And then 5-mana Teferi again is just a loyalty-intensive value engine that can also tuck a tricky permanent if I need it.
Yeah, makes sense to me. On my side, I'm bringing in 3 chokes.
So rude, man.
Gobbles up the islands, forces X to try to get away out of it, and it's something we can turn to on the play, which is pretty strong. Puts a lot of pressure on Zach to have a force negation or way to get out of it. I'm bringing in 2 Cindervines. Zach's really spell heavy. He's only got those Snapcasters that he mentioned in the Stoneforges. So this can kind of just pick at him for a little bit, and then it's got the mode of blowing up an artifact or an enchantment, which is nice at instant speed because he's got those Batter Skulls in the sword. So I think this is a good inclusion.
Also, if I hardcast a Shark Typhoon,
oh no,
you got the out.
Yeah, that's right. Which is everybody likes to hardcast that card, so it's gonna be great. What do you have the Glorebringers? I joked about it earlier, but Path to Exile getting this pretty bad, but also same thing with Mana Leak or Cryptic Command or Aether Gust, Celestial Purge. All these cards really trade up on mana pretty hard.
Yeah.
So Glorebringer is not great. I left in a couple just as some threats to pressure Planeswalkers and instant speed, but overall I don't think it's a very good card. And then I'm boarding out
not instant speed, but haste.
With haste. I'm sorry. Yep. And then I'm boarding out 3 Magus of the Moon. It's fine. It's good against Mystic Sanctuary, and if Zach, has a weird draw or he fetches poorly, it can punish him. But I don't think it's great. It's a whole lot of Grey Ogre. They're bad in multiples, and it's kind of an ammo with choke. So I wanted to just try to trim down on that and lean a little more on this for the mana screw aspect with Pillage.
Yeah, this makes sense to me. This is just a better lane paid card than this in the matchup.
Yep. And because I have the Clothuses and Scavenging Oozes, I can fight the Mystic Sanctuaries a different way. So
sure.
Yeah.
And also it's a small point, but it's relevant. If you're playing this deck, you play against a blue-white deck, they're probably going to have Celestial Purge and Aether Gust. That's just what blue-white sideboards and the spell-heavy decks in Modern look like at the moment.
For sure.
And just making your land hate only hit by Aether Gust and not Celestial Purge is a big deal.
For sure. Not to mention, Magus can get Path. You
Sure,
can get
yeah.
Verdicted, you can get Jace bounced.
Exactly. So many answers to it. Where Choke is, I got my 3-mana Teferi and Aether Gust and Force Negation, but overall, not really that many ways to deal with it hard. And you saw it too. I'm cutting Cryptics and Archmage's Charms, so it's going to be, and that's a card I'm going to have to dance around. And you got a bunch of copies of it, so it could be tough. Are you going to keep a 7 this time?
Oof, let's find out.
That 5 was rough.
I think it can keep. It's got this, which is the most important thing. Not insane over here, but we can fix that later.
This hand's pretty awkward. It's actually good from behind. I'm kind of weak to some of Raj's good early plays, but I think this is not a hand you really want to mulligan against that deck, so I'm going to keep it and see what happens.
All right. I'll lead us off with an Arbor Elf.
All right.
Good.
I'll put a Flutter Strand in a play and pass.
Alright, I will fetch down to 19. Cut. And I will try a Cindervines.
Cindervines is good.
Yeah. And then I will play another Arbor Elf.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Again, I'm not going to fetch here because it exposes me to pillage. There's just, I know because we saw sideboarding that you don't have Boil, but if I can just delay and just make a decision later, it's going to be better for me. And realistically, I'm fetching a basic anyway.
Yeah, you don't fetch Halfon that much, right?
Exactly. So I think it's just easy. Don't fetch here and just draw for turn. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just play an island here and pass to you.
Alright.
This does now expose me to pillage, but I didn't really have a better option, so here we are.
Fair enough. I'm gonna fresh out to 17.
Yep.
Sorry, 16. Get a stomping ground. And I will play a Bloodbraid Elf, Cascade Trigger.
Bloodbraid Elf, well, Cascade Trigger resolves.
Alright. Bone Crusher, I'll stomp you. Or do I want to just put this 4/3 into play? Well, wait, is this? Yeah. I think we're just going to try to put this guy into plays for additional pressure on Zach. So yeah, I will just cast the Bone Crusher side.
Okay.
And then, does this resolve?
That does resolve. I'm going to fetch and go down to 19. I'm going to get Plains. It's a lot of pressure really quick here. Taking damage from every spell I cast. You got a hasty 3/2 coming in. There's just another 4/3 in play. I think it was a lot of power.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a decent draw. I drew this card, which was huge, just because I didn't have that much at the top end. So
I'm gonna path to exile the Bloodbraid Elf. I just need to get some pressure off the board here.
yeah, and like this is a weaker creature than the Bone Crusher, but it's got haste and this deals you 2 damage, so it makes sense that you're targeting this. So that will resolve. I will.
And I take 1 down to 18.
I'm gonna pick up a.
Were you just attacking with this?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no, I'm attacking with Arbel.
Okay, so now I'll go to 17.
I'm gonna get a mountain, and then Zach took this trigger already. I'm assuming 1, 2, 3. Right?
Yep. It should be at 17.
All right, and I'm almost after that. Good.
All right. Draw for turn. That's not a bad one. It's not great, but it definitely plays. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and shock. That's gonna put me to 15. And I'll pass to you.
Okay.
Just want access to the mana here if I can get it. And putting lands into play tapped against choke and boil decks just ain't great.
Right.
It's tough because I mean you're threatening a lot of damage with this too, but
yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start by playing a Chandra Torch Defiance.
Chandra resolves.
Okay. I will plus Chandra.
Okay. Oh man. Hello.
Actually, I'm not even sure how this interaction works. Did I need to make all the mana before with our Ralph? Or do I still have a window where I get to like untap lands and then cast the choke? I have no idea how this works. Because it says you have to like cast it right then and there.
You know, I actually don't know.
Like if these are mana dorks, I think I can, but like
You definitely can with mana dorks.
yeah.
I think.
So
I think you can use this to cast them. I don't know though.
yeah.
I would assume you can.
Okay.
It makes sense to me.
I'm actually leaning towards that I can't, but I guess we can find out later. I would have done it anyway, but I'll go ahead and force it. Like I have a 3-drop in my hand, so I was going to lift the mana anyway.
Sure.
So like I'm not actually gaining anything out of this, but I'm actually thinking that I can't do this.
Okay.
Either way.
Well, let's find out after.
I will be casting a choke, and I'm sure it will not resolve.
Results.
Attack for 4.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to 11.
All right.
I had a bunch of plans here. Now I don't really have any plans here anymore.
I'm really confused as what your plans were. Go ahead. Is it Typhoon? Is your plan Typhoon?
No. I wanted to make this get into play in a spot where I could keep it, which isn't that crazy given what was in play. That Bloodbraid Elf hitting a 4/3 has been really problematic, and I wanted to do this, but this hitting this is just so ridiculous. You just had 2 spells that have just cascaded into really brutal other spells, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how do I get out of this? And I think I'm going to need to peel some really good cards is realistically the answer here.
Yeah.
And if I don't hit... So I think I need to cast a spell here. I think if I just don't cast a spell, I'm going to be in too much trouble. The question is, yeah, what's the right way to go? You know, there's a chance I'm supposed to do this on this during combat. Did you cast this all pre-combat, right?
I did. Yeah, all this was pre-combat.
So now, so you went to combat.
This is combat now.
So if you're in combat, am I already at 11? No, I went down to 11, right? Off the attack, I was at 15. Or are we in
shocked?
I
Yeah, I'm
shot
actually
from
kinda-
17 to 15.
Checked from 17 to 15. I played Chandra, resolved.
Last turn you
I
played Blood
Choke.
Red Elf, right?
Yeah. So did you want to? This was from the
Yeah, I'm
the-
thinking. I think the thing I have to do here is Path to Exile this.
Okay, so you're gonna take 2.
Yep, so I should go to 13 instead of 11.
Yep, and then I will get. I'm gonna get another mountain.
I think I wanted to do other stuff, but given what's in play, I think this is just the best option I have.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna draw for turn, and we need a special one. That was a lot, not it.
Oh, you took 1 off this as well. So.
Oh, yep. You're right. Well, it's not really getting better. I'm gonna go ahead and cast that.
So trigger.
Yep. 11, and we need to hit a good card here. Minus on that. Here we go.
Okay. I'll start by plusing Chandra. Yeah, I'll take a.
Can you use Chandra with Teferian play? I think you can.
Oh, I actually don't think you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I think I just take
I don't
two.
think. Yeah, I think you just take 2. I think you're right.
I don't think it matters because I'm not gonna get any more mana in this game, but
Yeah. So you're at 9
yeah. I think that's a relevant interaction to be aware of.
for sure. All these things are kind of interesting. And then I will play my choke.
Yeah, that's in play.
And there's no point in playing my Arbor Elf when I'm playing the Pyromancer because they're basically just putting the 1/1 into play for me for free. So I'll play this as Pyromancer, pitching the Elf, drawing 2, and I get a 1/1. And I'm guessing Zach doesn't have choke based on the fact that he, or excuse me, force of negation because he would have forced this, I'm sure. So I'm going to play a land for turn, make 2 red off the Arbor Elves, and then cast a Pillage on his only land that will untap.
So savage. All right.
And then I'll pass turn.
All right. I'm gonna draw. I'm not gonna untap. I didn't draw a land. I got a bunch of expensive cards. I think this is a reasonable spot to pack it in. I'm mostly dead on board with no mana and a Planeswalker that doesn't do anything. So yeah, I just have a clunky handful of good blue and white stuff, but none of the relevant answers I needed.
Yeah.
That's an example right there of choke getting around purge being super relevant. You know.
For sure. Oh, yeah, the purge. Yeah.
My plan the turn where the Chandra came down was like, okay, that's fine. I'll let that happen. I'm going to purge it. And then you plus into a choke, and it's like, okay, well, now things have changed.
Very brutal.
All right, we're back for game 3. I've got a really awkward one here. 2 of these with this already in the hand, which is already making this second one dead. And then no access to white mana to cast any of the spells in my hand. So I think this is a pretty clear mulligan.
Yep, I'm also going to mulligan. Just don't have a turn 1 play, don't have a way to kill Stoneforge. Just a really slow hand that doesn't do too much and very exposable. So, especially on the draw.
Yeah. Not starting until turn 3 on the draw against a blue deck where I can start getting mana leak and force negation up is just going to be too slow probably.
For sure, for sure.
You're also weak, like if I just go turn 2 Stoneforge and then you just play second land and pass.
Yeah, I'm dead.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Alright. This hand's also pretty awkward, honestly, but it's got this card, which I value really highly in the matchup. A little heavy on this and a little short on this, but You know, I am on 6, so I think it's pretty easy to just take this card, put it on the bottom, and say I'm going to keep 6.
Yeah, my 6 is a little better. Still not great, but I don't think our 5 is going to do us much better than this. Question is, what do we ship? I'm leaning towards this because we already have that effect here, and we're kind of glutted at this spot. So I think this card's a better card in general in the matchup. So yeah, I will bottom this card.
Alright. I'm going to lead off with a tap Mystic Sanctuary and pass the turn.
I'll play tap Stomping Ground pass the turn.
Ooh, no 1-drop is good for me.
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to play a Flooded Strand and pass to you.
Alright. I will play a Forest and a Scavenging Ooze.
Alright, I could get a Plains here, but my hand really doesn't want me to do that. So I think I'm going to get a Hallowed Fountain. Put me to 17.
Is Hallowed Fountain, is that an island?
It is an island.
Okay. Just want to make sure I know exactly what kind of lands you're working with there.
Yeah,
Zach.
no, it's a good question, but nope. I really want to cast the. I have 2 ops in my hand. I'd really like to cast both here, so I could have just cast one.
See what you draw first. Then
See what I draw, but I like if I bottom it to actually leave the card on bottom.
Yeah, because you don't want that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cast my first opt. Well, after he played a Scavenging Ooze, I don't really want the Snapcaster Mage, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one on the bottom. We'll draw off the opt. And we're going to opt again. Well, I literally just drew this card, so I'm going to bottom it. And draw. Alright. Well, I'm going to draw for turn. You know, we were really looking for land off those ops.
Rough.
Did not hit one, but we did draw another opt, so we're going to go that direction.
I'm sure you'll find it there.
That is not a land. That's a Sword of Feast and Famine, which is not what we're looking for. So we're going to bottom. And that is a land. It's not necessarily the one I want, but I'll take it. I'm going to pass the turn.
Alright. Alright, I will start by attacking this guy with fingers.
Yep, I'm not going to block. I'll go to 15.
Okay. Alright, for my next trick, I'm going to take 2, down to 18. And I will cast a Seasoned Firecaster.
I'm going to mana like that.
Okay. So that's not the worst thing in the world for me. He wasn't going to be a card advantage there because I'll be discarding 2 cards and drawing 2 cards. And then once he's in my graveyard, he gets to, you know, activate his second ability, exiling, making 2/1/1s. So, good.
I'm going to draw for turn. That's a pretty good one. I would really like to hit my land drop here. And Raja can't use the Scavenging Ooze right now, so I think this is going to be one of the best times I get to put the Snapcaster Mage in play, target an opt, and cast it.
Makes sense.
You know what, this is really good in the matchup, but I really just want to land, so I'm going to go ahead and bottom that. Draw. And then pass the turn.
Alright, I will start by playing Utopia Sprawl on my basic forest.
Sure. You want to target the Stomping Ground?
No, I think it's better because you have the, you know, Field of Ruin
Field of Ruin play?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just a better play.
Makes sense.
And I'm going to name Red.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and play a Stomp on your Snapcaster Mage.
So, I would say that normally I would just let that resolve, but given that if I counter it, it also gets rid of the 4/3, which is something I'm interested in doing at the moment. I think I'm good to Force of Negation that. And I'm going to pitch an Aether Gust. That looks weird, but I think it's right given the context of my hand.
Okay. So that leaves you with 3 cards in hand?
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's a weird play, but the fact that it gets rid of the Bone Crusher, I think is good enough.
Yeah, it's really awkward that it exiles it too.
Yep.
Because right now, I don't want to take my Scavenging Juice for a Snapcaster, but I also want to keep the pressure on. So I'm
You
gonna
can eat your Seasoned Pyromancer.
right, and I'm gonna play land and attack.
You've got 2 cards after this?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I'm supposed to block here. He's just going to eat the Seasoned Pyro. He doesn't really have that much he can do with 2 mana. So I think it's fine to just take 2 here. Just let high enough life total.
Yep. And I'll pass.
Alright, draw for turn. Drew land!
There it is.
Got there. Alright, I'm going to pass to you.
Okay. End of your turn, I will exile your. I guess Mail Leaf.
Alright, Mana Leak's gone.
Alright, I will lead off with a Cindervines.
Cindervines is fine.
I think here I'm just gonna pass the turn.
You want to attack?
No attacks.
Alright, well, end of turn I'm going to fetch. I'd like to get an island. I'd like to get a plains here at some point, but at least Mystic Sanctuaries are kind of turned on going forward. But I don't think I'm really going to get a much better opportunity than this, so I'm going to cycle a Shark Typhoon for X equals 2, end of turn. Would you like to cut?
Nope, you're good.
So we're getting a 2/2 Shark. He's a 2/2. It's a baby shark, dude.
Baby shark.
Alright, draw off the cycle.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and eat 2 of your ops.
The ops,
Yes.
they're gone. The graveyard's getting nommed.
Yep, it's on you.
Alright. I'm gonna draw for turn. I'm gonna go ahead and put a plains in play and pass to you.
Okay. I'm gonna play a land and pass the deck.
Alright, end of turn. I'm gonna activate my Field of Ruin on a Stomping Ground.
Okay. I will throw the green and eat your Force Negation.
It's gone. Shocked you're leaving me with this Typhoon in here.
I know, it's dangerous, for
Very
sure.
dangerous. I think I just get the other planes now. Just in case the choke does come down, I at least have some lands that'll untap.
Makes sense.
Would you like to cut?
You're good.
I'm just gonna untap. I don't want to do anything yet. Draw for turn. I'm gonna play a land. That's another reason we get the plains, and I think it's time to start getting some beats in.
Oh no. I don't want beats.
No, I'm gonna. No, this is tough. I think I'm gonna just keep waiting. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep waiting. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. I'm gonna eat my Pyromancer and get 2 at once.
Okay.
Got these cool tokens from RW Hobbies in Livonia, Michigan, in case anyone was wondering. Alright. Let's cast a Liberated Elf Cascade Trigger.
Liberated Elf, well, the Cascade Trigger's happening.
Alright. Utopia Sprawl. Yay! So I guess sorry. Yeah, I'll cast this targeting my tapped forest.
Yep.
I guess I should put the fear in you. I'll target my stopping ground.
Okay.
And I'll name red.
Okay.
Literally.
Yep.
It's all good?
This all happens.
Everything's good?
Yeah, we're struggling here.
How many Shark Typhoons do you say you play?
3?
3?
Yeah, there's yeah. I mean, I definitely don't have another one, so don't worry about it. You know what? You're gonna tap your 3/2 into 6 open mana. It's totally fine.
I mean, that is convincing.
I promise you'll be safe.
You're an honest guy, so I know you wouldn't lie to me.
I'm not lying.
But I still don't even like the trade with the Snapcaster Mage, so I'm just gonna pass.
All right. I'm gonna draw for turn.
Can't say I'm a big fan of you not casting any spells after I play my Cindervines. You just kind of like
Just
laughing
chilling.
at it.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass back to you.
Alright.
Hitting staring contests, but
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and fetch.
sure. Yeah, the biggest thing with Shark Typhoon is knowing when to not cycle it.
Okay.
Keep the fear in them.
Of course, of course.
You're good.
Well, well, well. What does Zach have over there?
It's definitely not a Shark Typhoon. We know that for sure.
That's definitely established.
He 100% would have cycled it last turn.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Put that 4/4 in play. Give up his element of ambush shark.
Well said, well said.
Yeah, I don't need that. I can win without it.
Alright, man. How many cards do you have in there?
4.
4? That's way more than 3. Really upsetting me, Zach. Really upsetting me.
Sorry.
Alright. I'm gonna cast everybody's favorite 5-mana dragon, Lormir.
Yeah.
That's good?
Resolves, yeah.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah, no, it resolved.
Alright, go to combat.
Yeah.
See that? I'm sorry, go.
Beginning of combat. Yeah, no, it's fine. You're good. I'm at 12. Yep. Are we exerting?
Oh, you just around your shark.
Wait, hold on. I need to do math before you declare attack. Well, I know you're exerting, but. Yeah. Okay. Go to blocks.
Yep.
Block there.
Damage.
Yep. So I'm taking 8. I go to 4.
You're at 4. Go.
Well, this died. I maybe should have done this differently.
Probably should have left my mail up differently.
I'm gonna Celestial Purge that.
So you're gonna take one off the trigger?
Yep, go to 3.
Okay.
Good.
Yep. Saves the Celestial Purge for the Cinder Vines. Very interesting. So many interesting things happening here.
Alright, then I'm gonna cast the Supreme Verdict.
2 mana up.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 cards in hand?
3 cards.
Alright. Bolt you.
Got the bolt?
Got the bolt.
Pretty sure you have 2, but I'm gonna mana leak.
Alright. I'm gonna eat your Celestial Purge.
Alright, Purge is gone.
And this all goes to the yard.
Alright, so I'm dead to a lot, but I think that's the way my hand asked me to play this game, so go ahead.
I'll play Chandra.
Yeah.
I'll plus Chandra. I have the pull here too.
That's savage. I mean, I had a Path to Exile I could have used on that big attack, but I think because I know I'm going to be forced into Supreme Verdicting, that I think it's going to end up being a better play. And I was stuck without another blue card for this force like the entire game until I drew that leak last turn.
So I think you should have pathed and viewed the Path to Exile as less like you're losing value because of Verdict, and more just a way to gain essentially at least 5 life. Because you're pathing the Glorbinger, which is 4 damage, and my Glorbinger cleared out a blocker for your token.
Sure.
For my token. I guess you take 1 more, so you're gaining 4 life. I think I would have, just because putting yourself at 3 against the Bolt deck is such a precarious spot.
I mean, that ended up being awkward, but also, like, I kind of need to take into account that, like, after this turn, I will have no answers left to anything on board, so I can't answer any of your follow-ups. And so I'm sitting there hoping that I can draw a blue card for my Force Negation, and as it happened, I drew a Mana Leak, so I had it, but you just had too many lethal bolts, you know?
Right.
So yeah. Ended up getting beat.